Hi, this is Denise Mathew, and today I'm going to do a very quick bracelet. It's just a combination of beads and also just some chain. About 3 inches of chain already. You can use a heavier chain if you prefer. I also have some carnelian beads here. You can use whatever you like. You can use round, square, whatever you have on hand. I'm also using, it's like a beading string wire, and I find this is good because it helps to it's more flexible. So if you're stringing beads on just a piece of wire, after a certain amount of time it'll work harden and it can actually snap. So I like to use this this bead stringing wire, and I find that because it's flexible and it fits through a lot of beads. And I'm going to be using crimp pliers to use some crimps today. So in order to make a 7-inch bracelet, I want to measure all my components. So I've got 3 inches of wire, which I've already said. I also have a clasp, which is about a ½ inch in length. I also will have my beads, and so if I have 3 plus probably about 3½ inches of beads. I'm going to cut about a little over 4 inches of bead wire, and then I'm just going to string my beads on it. The first thing I'm going to do before I do that is just crimp it to the one side of my chain. Okay, so if you haven't used crimp beads are a little tiny bead that you squeeze to bend, and I'll show you how to do that. So just what you need to do is just loop your wire, your bead string through a loop in the chain like that, and then just loop it over a little bit like that. So this is what you would have. And at this point, you're just going to take one of your little crimp beads and just slide it right on to, slide it right on. You're going to push it right up like that, so it's on those two wires. And then at this point, what you're going to do is, crimp pliers have a couple of different, if you notice on this part, it's hard to see, but they have sort of a dent, and that's what you start with, and then you're going to round your crimp on the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my pliers, and I'm just going to use that dent part, the bottom part, and I'm just going to squeeze that crimp like that. And I'll show you what that looks like. A lot of people will just flatten out the crimp and they don't actually roll it afterwards. You can just flatten it, but this just makes it look a little bit more finished. And then use the top part of your pliers just to go right up, and then just roll that crimp. So you're just going to squeeze it, and then you will have more finished. And if it doesn't roll the first time, just go back and just squeeze it again. So then you would have more of a rolled look. It's a little bit more finished. And so now you have that attached. Okay. Now if you want to trim back some of this, you can, that extra wire, but I'm not going to worry about that right now, because what I'm going to do is string on my beads, and a lot of that will get hidden away anyway. So I'm just going to string on my beads and try and keep in mind the length I'm going for. And so what I'm going to do is occasionally measure to see how close I am getting to it. And I'm also going to make a little bit of a clasp for one end so that the lobster claw can attach to it. So that's what you're doing. It's a very quick project. And I'm not being very careful. I like the shift in the colors. I mean, that's the carnelian came in a string like this with many different colors, and I like it that way. Okay, so let's just bring it against the so far we have about 5½ inches, and I'm just going to continue on, getting closer to the 7, but not quite. I'll probably go to about 6½. Okay, and that will give me some space for the clasp and the loop. And you also have to leave a little bit on the end so you can crimp bead the other end too, because that's what you're going to be doing on the other end. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so right now we're just under 7. So I'm just going to take one bead off and then just finish it off with a crimp. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. And if you notice there's a string hanging out, you want to just make sure that's tucked in to your bead. Okay? So when you finish your crimping on the other end, it's all pushed in. Okay? Alright, so you're going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to put the crimp on again this way, like that. Okay? And then just feed your other end of your, it's easier sometimes to grab with the pliers, so just feed your other part of your, so this is what you're going to have, okay? So try and make it as taut to the bead as you can, and you're going to do the exact same thing. You're just going to take your crimp pliers and just hold on to that string so that it doesn't come out, and just use your okay, and you can see it goes perfectly like that. And then coming back and just taking your round part and then just squeezing it like that. Okay, so now that that's done, you can tuck that other bit of string in. So that's a little bit more neat. And you might have a little space on the ends, but that's okay. It doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to just check the measurement again. So far we have, it's a little under 7. So if you end up, you know, having a little bit too much, what you can do is just I mean, because I think by the time I get my clasp on and my link, it's going to be a little too long. If that's the case, then just trim off a little of your chain. It's no problem there. Okay, so all I'm going to do is do a just a plain wrap loop. Okay, so I'm just going to do just a regular loop, then just guide it on to the loop you just made. Okay, and then just close up that loop. Slide on a bead, and then just go to the other side. I'm going to make the loop a little bit bigger on the other side because I'm going to use that to put my lobster claw clasp in. Okay, so go around once, and then I'm just going to go around again. So this is what you would have. Okay, then just grab hold of that circle and just wrap. Finish wrapping that loop. Trim it back. This is about a 20 gauge wire that I'm using. Okay. I'm going to go back and measure and see if it's correct. I'm a little over 7 inches, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to accommodate for how much of a lobster claw I have, so I'm just going to trim that back. I measured probably about a ½ inch, and then I'm back to 6½. Then just open a regular jump ring, slide on your lobster clasp or whatever clasp you're using. You could even use a scroll clasp if you prefer. And I have a link, I will put a link for how to make scroll clasps, and then that would be your completed bracelet. So this concludes the tutorial. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.